I have an epic dating story that I've been dying to share but need to do so anonymously as it's definitely rated R. I dated a total douchebag for a few years. I use the word loosely because although he basically lived at my apartment rent-free, I paid for 75% of his meals and we spent an excessive amount of time together. He refused to call me his girlfriend. To make matters worse, he'd dangle the word in front of my face like a carrot. Maybe if you buy me a new pair of shoes. Or maybe in 6 months. Or maybe if you let me put it in your B*TT. And I'd laugh it off. But when I really started to question it, he'd get mean. He'd tell me I wasn't smart or successful or pretty enough for him, that he could do way better. Let me tell you, I'm a hardworking woman and for the right man, I'd totally be okay with a stay-at-home boyfriend situation, but this guy really had some nerve calling me unsuccessful when he graduated from Harvard Business School with honors and decided to be a D*MN burger flipper at Steak and Shake, and you know, I'm not one to comment on appearance. I'm a notorious chubby chaser. Ask my friends. But this dude had the biggest beer belly I've ever seen. He'd rather flatten and pat his stringy front hairs towards the back in a failed attempt to cover his perfectly rounded bald spot than rock a shaved head, smelled like Constant Beau, and legit owned 2 shirts, one with the 3-wolf moon plastered on the front and the other embroidered with "I pooped today" around the collar. This guy was a clown in the worst possible way, and on top of that, he was downright mean, and I'm super cute and fashionable and nice, okay? About 2 years in, I was at my wit's end. I had finally decided enough was enough. I'm sure some of you can attest, but the worst part of an on-again, off-again relationship isn't necessarily the heartache, it's keeping up with the lies you tell your friends and family so you don't have to hear the again when they inquire about your status. So trying to move on, I download Hinge, and to my surprise one of my very first likes was my ex's best friend. Although I'd crept on his socials on more than one occasion, I'd never met him in person. I mean, only the most deserving got to be introduced to his inner circle. But his best friend was hot. The most kissable abs you've ever seen, curly brownish reddish locks, deep blue eyes, he was sent from the heavens. In fact, I'm getting frisky just thinking about him. Never in my life did I think someone as handsome as him could be interested in me. To be fair, my self-esteem was at an all-time low, but let's move on. I contemplated my next move. You see, I was finally in a good place. It had been a few weeks since I went full ghost mode on you know who, but I figured a little harmless banter with his best friend wouldn't hurt anyone. Heck, he had no idea who I was. I typed the message and deleted it over and over until finally I clicked send. I think you're really handsome. Would you want to hang out sometime? *T. I did it, and he replied. We picked a time and place, and that was that. Without even thinking about it, I put on the sexiest outfit in my closet, tits out and everything, and I met him at Nisse's Lounge, this little hole in the wall spot in Wrigley. I looked extremely out of place, but it worked for me. He invited me back to his apartment, and after kissing a little, I worked my way down his body, pulled down his pants, and put his thingy in my **th. I did this special trick with my tongue that my ex taught me. And his best friend exploded everywhere. It was insane. Hate me if you want, but I went home that night and slept like a baby. The next morning when I woke up, I checked my phone like I normally do. I could hardly contain myself, just completely overwhelmed with laughter. I probably even peed a little. Front and center on the screen was a text message from my ex sent at 2:03 a.m. UB*TCH.